Hey, what up, good people? This is your boy Swift,
Tressa.
And that's India.
and this is the Swift Report. So, two things I want to get into. Last week it was National Black Man Don't Cheat Day, and I'm feeling that shit.
Nah.
I'm feeling the National Black Man Cheat. No, Black Man Don't Cheat. So I don't know if y'all know Lil Duval. Charlamagne dropped a song last week, Black Man Don't Cheat, and they, Christian Today, National Black Man Don't Cheat Day. And I'm feeling that. Y'all ain't feeling that?
No.
Why?
It's a lie.
You got
Corey, we know black men cheat.
Yeah.
Okay, so black men used to cheat.
No, black
No,
men still cheat.
They do.
I know black men that still cheat. So it should say all black men don't cheat day. Not that black men don't cheat day. And I understand the thought behind it. Charlamagne said that it's about encouraging black men not to cheat. And it's about celebrating black men that don't cheat. And he's proud of himself because he hasn't cheated in the last 3 years of his 18-year marriage. I get all of that. Kudos off to Charlamagne for doing what he should have been doing in the first place. But black men do cheat. black men cheat. Unfortunately, they do.
Okay, so we know black men have cheated in the past,
Okay.
right? So what I like about the whole idea is they're changing the narrative. And why not? Why not change the narrative?
There's nothing wrong with
Because
that.
it's not true though. I get they should name it something else though.
Like what?
Something that encourage people to not black men to not cheat or something like that. I don't know.
But
You can't
that
say
is-
black men don't cheat when they clearly do.
No, those are black boys that's cheating.
I know black men that cheat.
Cheat.
And I don't think that if you are a cheater, that necessarily makes you a boy. It's just that area of your life you have not evolved yet. But you could have evolved in other areas that clearly makes you a man. So you can't say, okay, they're boys because they're cheating. Because I know 50-year-old men that still cheat. 58-year-old men that still cheating. I know some men.
She said 58. That seemed like that's personal. Like,
No, I know they can cheat on me. I know who they cheating on. I mean, I know 58-year-olds cheat on me. But I'm saying, like, I know 60-year-old. I know men that are old in age and they still cheat. But some men's mindset, they just are not going to be exclusive to one woman,
Right.
and it could come from what they saw growing up. It just could be how they view life. Some men don't feel like if I'm not married to you, but we're in a relationship, supposedly a committed relationship, they still can still be in a relationship and it's not cheating because we're not married.
Right.
That's bullshit. But
And
I know men that feel like
some people be like talking to a girl, hanging out with a girl is not cheating, but sexual intercourse and all that is cheating. It's different lines how people consider cheating.
so I think that's every relationship should be different then, right?
yes.
So I think that what people should do is specify in their relationship what's cheating and what's not cheating.
I agree.
Yeah.
But I like the whole thing that black men don't cheat because you got to start somewhere,
This is true.
right? So you
I
change the narrative. Black men don't cheat, and be an example. And my man, okay, he been married 20 years, whatever. He ain't cheated for 4 years. That's good.
3.
Okay, 3, 2, 1. The man is trying, and it's hard out here. It's hard to be faithful.
No, I don't agree with that.
I don't
No, okay, I take that back. It ain't hard to be faithful, but it's a lot of traps and temptations.
I agree with
Right.
that. But I agree with that. But it's not hard to be being faithful is a choice. And you can choose to be faithful or you
Yeah.
can choose to be unfaithful. I don't believe it's hard for anybody to be faithful. I don't believe in, I made a mistake. I do believe in getting yourself in situations that you might not have thought you would be in and making a bad choice and cheating on your spouse. I believe in being emotionally unattached to the person that you are with and becoming emotionally attached to somebody else because you're looking for somebody else, but you still at some point have a choice to make. So I don't think it's hard to be faithful. And listen, I have been cheated on, but I also have been a cheater. So I know what I'm talking about. I know what I'm talking about. So.
See, I think women cheat more than men, really.
Well,
Or they may be better cheaters.
Yeah. Why do you think do you think they're better cheaters, or do you think they cheat more? Do you think they cheat more because they're better cheaters?
Well, I don't know. Maybe I should retract and say that they're just better cheaters. I shouldn't say they cheat more. I think men probably cheat more than women. And I say that because most of the time, and I might catch flack for this statement, like with men, it's no attachment.
Right.
Right?
Right. Very
So,
right.
and because there's no attachment, I think men get a little more careless and a little more reckless because it's just, a lot of times it's just, it is what it is. It's just sex. There's no attachment there. Most of the time, I think, well, I don't know. You can elaborate more on this. And this generation is different. These girls different these days. But when I was coming up, most women, when they cheated, it's because they was missing something at home. You know, they ain't have that emotional stability or whatever it may be. But fuck it. I like black men don't cheat, and I'm with the faithful black man committee and community. Okay.
Well, you should be. You better be.
I have a question. So does the movement make you not want to cheat because of the whole black men don't cheat, you're black?
I think no. The movement is not what make me not want to cheat. It's just like when you. So for me, because I've cheated before and I've been cheated on before, but I've probably cheated a lot more than I've been cheated on. Or maybe not, because women are better cheaters, so we don't really be knowing and shit. But I just like the narrative because I see where the generations under us are going and how people value relationships. I don't think people value relationships anymore, whether it be friendships, whether it be a romantic situation. I just don't think people value. And I just think that kids don't have the proper role models, right? Like, you hear all the rap songs talking about they bitches and they side hoes. You know, even like all the shit on TV, it don't really like cater to strong black unity.
Right.
Or to strong unity, period.
Right. I agree.
Like, you look at the scandals and all these other TV shows and shit, it's like everybody just doing everybody. So, I like the whole idea of the movement because it's needed, right?
Right.
And I think that society have played the government and society have played a big part in helping men cheat to keep our families divided.
How so?
How so? Like what part? Society or the government?
You saying how the government have?
How?
Okay, so take for instance, right? I think the most feared thing in America is a strong black woman. Right?
Right.
No, I think that's high up there. I think the most feared thing is a strong black woman that's united with a strong black man.
Okay.
And I say the government interfere with shit like that because, you know, they encourage, in a sense of the division in the black families. Like back in the day, I don't know what they call it now, but back when I was a kid, they used to call it ADC, right?
Okay.
And I don't really know what ADC stand for.
What is
Right.
that?
But in the hood, when I was a kid, it was for after daddy cut out.
What?
You know what I'm saying? Okay, your daddy ain't there. We give you a little stipend, we give you a little money, we give you a little welfare.
Okay.
But as long as the daddy there, you figure it out.
But that's right. You're right.
You know what
that's
I'm saying?
True.
Or
Right.
even like the Section 8 housing and shit. Like,
Right.
you know what I'm saying? You got a strong black man in your corner, or man,
You're not
you ain't
gonna
get no
help.
help.
No.
But as long as you keep that nigga on the outside, hit a little something, little cushion. You can pay your little $20 rent or whatever it may
Okay.
be.
You
know what I'm saying?
$20 a rent, I wish.
You know, at the Warner County Projects, it's like $12 or some shit like that.
Thank you for that information.
Yeah, we ain't even over there. But I'm just saying, and even not going too far and shit like that. And then, like, society, they encourage, I mean, I think, I'm starting to see a shift now, though, right?
Right.
Like, it's cool to, like, have a wife
Right.
and your family, but early 80s all the way up to about 2010, bitches hoes, bitches
Right.
ain't shit, my
Side
hoe this,
chick.
my that, side chick.
Okay.
Jump
I
off.
agree with that. I agree with what you're saying.
Right.
I see
So
what you mean.
so I think I mean I like the narrative. I mean, and me personally, I can say that I know quite a few faithful black men. You know what I'm saying? My inner circle, some faithful to a fault.
Right.
But they're faithful black men. But I can also say that personally, I don't know now one black man that's never cheated. If that makes sense.
Yeah. That
They're
makes
faithful
sense.
now, but at one
At
point
right.
they are cheated. So if you can be faithful now, I mean, it's this is the new wave.
So, do all men cheat? Do you think all men cheat? I'm starting to think they all do.
I like to believe that there are some men out there who's never cheated, right?
Right.
And I say this, and not going too deep in my family history, but when I think of like the perfect husband, like I think my granddad was like the man, right?
But
Like he's like, to me, he's like the perfect example of what a husband and a father should be. But I got older and I found out that my granddaddy had a little, you know, something.
Right.
I was like, I said, God damn, if Arthur Lee cheating, there's no hope for me. You know what I'm saying? I mean, I think that all men go through a phase because it's like this, right? You're taught that in this Western society that one wife, one marriage,
right.
whatever.
Right.
But I think that we don't express how important it is to date.
Right.
And I think people think, oh, I am dating. I'm with this person.
Right.
But if you exclusively dating one person, you're not dating. You're in a fucking
You're
relationship.
in a relationship. Is that right?
Right? So I don't think we express how important it is to date and to sow your oats, right? And you just jump into these relationships because you think that's the way it's supposed to be,
Right. They don't work.
and you don't know what you want. You don't, like, take for instance, right? I was with this chick. We got together in 11th grade. Had a kid. You know what I'm saying? Thought she was the shit. Right after high school, I left here. There's a whole world out here outside of
Right.
Detroit and Michigan.
Right.
I've been all across the world. I saw all kind of women that just,
Right.
and were willing to do anything for you. I lost my mind at one point. You know, and even then, it's like, when I say the trappers are easy, when I first got married, I had my wedding band on, and you would think that you got a wedding band on,
I hope.
Nobody
If
don't
it's
care about
deterrent,
that. No.
nobody care about it, and it's that simple. Yeah, I can tell a woman, you know what? I got a wife, I got a family at home, I'm never leaving. Oh, I'm cool with that. Oh, you are? Simple. It's easy, right? So I think a lot of guys get caught, and I think that I used to think that we weren't really designed and built to be with one woman.
What?
Why?
So what I said about some men who are just not going to be exclusive with one woman because they don't believe you should be with one woman. And there are men who are like that. Like they believe that and they live by that. And if they have one woman, they have one woman, fine. But if another one comes along, then they don't feel committed to the one that they have to not talk to another one, look at another. We're going to look at them, but you don't have to act on it. They don't feel enough commitment to that one woman that they do have to not act on those impulses because they don't believe you should just be with one woman.
Yeah, I mean,
Till they get sick and only one woman want to take care of their old sick ass. And then they believe, oh, it used to be with one woman. Then that woman.
Right.
Now that's what I think.
well, typically because you just have these urges, right? And I think what women don't understand is that it's nothing like you can actually love the woman you with, right?
Right.
And still sleep with somebody else. Because for men, there's no emotional attachment there. It's just sex. It's a nut. And that's it. Now some men get caught up and they start falling for the other woman or whatever. It happens or whatever. But I just think that I used to think that because you have those urges and you have those feelings and you can sleep with a woman and there's no feeling attached there.
Right.
You can go home. It's just like it's your genetic makeup.
Oh, I see what you're saying.
Right.
This is how we made this. This is how
And,
we
and
designed
then
to be.
and then it's like in a lot of cultures outside of the Western culture, it's like normal. You can have
Right.
multiple wives or
Yeah.
multiple girlfriends, right?
But it's instilled in them from birth. It's not they want. It's not like God put something in them that He didn't put in us, and they just feel like this. It was instilled in them. It was taught to them from whatever age that they could comprehend that. It wasn't taught to us like that. But to some men, I think they saw that. They saw it in their households. They saw it like with their uncles. They saw it with their daddies, or they saw it with whoever. And then you have some women who accept it because also that's what they saw with the men in their families. So they accept that and they're okay with that. There are some women that's simply okay with sharing a man as long as she get X, Y, and Z. And it's like, well, what we have is what we have. And she don't give no thought to no other woman. She knows another woman. She don't care about no other woman. And then it's just some that is not made up like that. Me.
So, but I'm saying, okay, you said, men, they seen that, it was raised like that, that's their culture. But what about the men that didn't see that? Like, what about, okay, not to say this person's name because it's my partner, but he was raised in a household. He's like only one of my friends that came from a two-parent household all his life. He seen his daddy with his mother, and he still messed around.
But he just want to be a hoe. He just like he tried and it worked good for him. It worked well for him. So I mean, I'm not saying everybody that's doing it is not because this is what they saw. I'm just saying some men that is what they saw and that is why they do it. And then there are some men that just they believe how they believe, they think how they think until they don't think it anymore. And who's to say that's right or wrong? Because right and wrong for me is not right and wrong for someone else. Like it goes back to what I said. Like some believe that if we are not married, then I don't have to be committed to you. Now how you get married to somebody who you don't feel like you got to be committed to, I don't know. But I have a cousin who feels like that. But he's married, but he feels like if you're not married, then I owe you no commitment. Now, how did he end up married if feeling like that? I don't know. But he said it before. He said he still says it. So I don't get it. Me, I feel like if we are together, if we have verbally agreed that a relationship is what we want, and we're working towards a better purpose. I'm seeing you, you're seeing me. We agree we're not gonna see anybody else. Then if somebody does, that's cheating. If I'm out meeting guys, even entertaining them, it's in the family of cheating. I have no business with a man who I made believe that I'm his woman and he's the only person that I want to have sex with, intimate relations with, that I want to share my private thoughts with, that I'm only gonna go on dates with him. When I want to come to a man, I'm gonna call him. If I want to talk to a man, I'm gonna call him. What am I giving my number out to some other man for? Ain't nobody meet no new friends. Ain't nobody meet no new, ain't nobody meet no new homeboys. Ain't nobody out at I like you have to be my homeboy. No, men are out meeting women, and women are out entertaining what men want. So if I have somebody, you can get into conversation with someone and enjoy their company just because you end up sitting next to them. But I don't have no business giving him my phone number just because he asked for it. I'm stepping out on my guy if I do that. That's what I think. And I think the same for him. Okay, go out and have your little fun. Everybody talk shit in the club. Don't go to the same club every week. You gonna hang with a club girlfriend that thinks she your little club girlfriend without you even saying it. If you go somewhere every week, you ain't got no business taking that shit outside of that club. Now that don't mean be in the club booed up with her, kissing all on her, giving her no money. That means that you come in the club and you cute and she like you and you know she like you, but nobody don't say nothing about it.
You can buy her a drink?
You buy a drink. I ain't have a problem with that. Cause if somebody offer me a drink, I don't get married or not. I'm saying thank you, sir. Okay? If my boyfriend, whoever, give me money for drinks. That's extra money in my pocket. Cause this man bought me a drink. I'm gonna say thank you and I'm gonna keep it moving.
I expect my girl to get a drink from a nigga at the club.
Yes.
You know what I'm saying? And if I'm in the club with her, she better order me one too.
Hello.
You know
It's
what
what
I'm
guys. It's just something. It's what guys do, and some guys do it just out of being decent. They don't want no phone number. They don't want to stick by your side. You know, I've had guys that literally have walked up while I'm ordering a drink and they say, hey, I got your drink. And then they go on about their business. So I think that's harmless. You know, now I dated the guy, he banned the club out though. And coming home to my, I lost my money in the parking lot. I used to believe him. I used to believe him until I went to the club with him and I seen him get drunk and offered, oh, you want a drink, you want a drink, you want a drink, you want a drink, you want a drink. And then he'll tell me, I don't need to have bitches in the club drink. And I'm like, I seen you buy two bitches that I didn't know who they was, drinks when you was with me. Imagine what you're doing when you ain't with me. And every Friday you coming home, waking up on Saturday morning, going to the car talking about you lost your money in the parking lot. No, you done got drunk and bought drinks. But you know what, if that's what you do, and that's what you enjoy, okay. But you don't have to give me your number when you buying those drinks. You don't have to be rubbing on people's butts and rubbing all up against people and putting your arms all around them and talking about sex and all that stuff while you buying these drinks, making these women think that you're available. It's that you cheating on me. And if I walk in on it, you cheating on me. That's what I'm thinking. That's what I think. That's how I feel.
Okay.
You know,
So Ann, you the new millennium generation. Like, how y'all look at it?
Well, so I had a boyfriend working at a club, and he didn't like it just because of the surroundings of people at a club getting drunk and trying to persuade you to go home. Because at the club, they trying to, hey, drink with me, all this and that. But I was there strictly for work. But I did see coworkers that was like, instead of them going out to pay, they work at the club to still hang out. You get paid, whatever. But I mean, I've also been out to the club just a couple weeks ago. I went out for a friend's birthday. The people, some guys who she knew, just bought us drinks just to buy us drinks. There was nothing
attached to it.
Nothing attached to it. I took it, and having a boyfriend then, I took it, and I mean, it's a free drink. Like, that's how I look at it. Like,
ain't shit free though.
Now wait a minute.
Ain't shit free.
A drink can be free.
A drink can be
You're right.
free.
A drink can be free because I've bought plenty of drinks in my days and.
Just because you want people to have a good time.
Right,
That's
right,
how
right,
it was.
right.
People have bought me drinks, and I'm like, okay, so yeah, can I have your number, or what you doing after this, or where we going, and stuff like that.
Yeah, I get it. When I was married, we used to hang out at the Regal Beagle. For y'all don't know, the Regal Beagle was Fridays in Dearborn.
Yeah, I know.
And I just heard they closed it down. They need to close that motherfucker down. It wasn't shit.
Wait a minute. Not to get off track. They close Fridays in Southfield down?
Dearborn.
Oh, in Dearborn. Okay.
Dearborn. They closed that shit down. They need to, but we were in that thing about 3-4 days a week, and you know we brought plenty of women drinks and had conversations. And one time my ex-wife came with me, and she's like, you know what? That's for you and your fellas.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? I don't think like the whole environment now. I see what you do. That's you and your fellas.
Right.
But let me ask y'all this: is cheating a deal breaker?
Yes.
Cheating is a deal breaker.
Cheating is a deal breaker for me.
Cheating is a deal breaker.
Yeah. So I got cheated on before. But
What?
Yeah.
And you ain't called me?
Nah. But I mean, I kind of broke it off, but I went back. But now being older and more mature, that would be a deal breaker for me.
Yeah. I found out. Yeah.
It's too much.
I won't trust you again.
Yeah.
But I know myself now, and I know that I'm gonna put you through hell. Not even wanting to put you through hell because I won't trust you. You say you going somewhere and legit be going where you say you going, but I won't believe it. By the time you come home, I done came up with 3 scenarios of where you at.
Yeah.
Because, and you can do everything in your power to make me, to work at me trusting you. And I'll work at it with you, and I'll think, okay, we've arrived. I trust him. And then something would trigger something, and then I'm right back to it. So knowing what I know about myself, that's a deal breaker for me, because I think that people spend too much time trying to make something work and end up making each other miserable because you're trying to make something work that's not going to work. So there's no sense in me being like, oh, I forgive you and all this other stuff, and then you try to, have a go at it. And I know how I am. I know how I think. I know how my mind is wired. And I can change a lot about myself, but I can't. Some things about myself is just me, and I know how I'm wired when it comes to that. And that only comes from taking men back who's cheated, and taking them back again after they cheated. And it also comes from cheating, like cheating. And men are more forgiving for cheating than women are. I would say that. I think.
Yeah.
I think men kind of look at it. I don't know. They look at it different.
I think that in my mind, I always say that cheating is not a deal breaker, right? In a sense, whereas, and I guess it just depends on how much I know. If I know you cheated and that's all I know, then maybe I'll say cheating is not a deal breaker. You try to work through that shit. If I know specifics and details, and I'm a visual person, so
right.
you know,
you may not be able to bounce back from that.
Right. So even when I was, and I keep going back to when I was married, like my ex-wife she would say, "Don't embarrass me. Don't make me look foolish." Right. And she would say cheating is not a deal breaker. However, I think cheating was a deal breaker.
Right.
I think cheating was a deal breaker. But just going back to the whole narrative, black men don't cheat. When I say I've cheated before, I've been cheated on, and fortunately for me, the person that cheated on me, it was at a point in our relationship, like I was hurt, and I think more so my ego was abused. But after I got over it, it's just like, that relationship wasn't going anywhere anyway. You know what I'm saying? So I was good. But I think that going back to the whole black man don't cheat, I don't like it. You're changing the narrative and you're making people mature, right? And I think that because people talk about this, and I might be by myself on this shit. Oh, being in love and the butterflies and all that shit. I don't know about all that. And I think you can love multiple people. Women be like, oh, if you love me, you wouldn't cheat on me. That's not true. That's not true. For a man can actually love a woman, right? And cheat. Because again, there's no emotional attachment.
Yeah, I agree with that.
Right? And I think that love is a natural feeling, right? If you vibe with a person on any kind of level long enough, and you're around that person, y'all get along, you're gonna love that person.
Right.
For me, I think being in love is a conscious decision that I'm gonna be with this woman, I'm gonna be faithful to this woman, I'm gonna have this woman back, and I'm gonna do wherever I can to make this woman happy, and this is who I'm putting my attention on, right? And that's the whole narrative we're trying to change with this black man don't cheat.
Okay.
We're trying to say, grow up, be accountable. If you tie this woman down, then be with her, be her partner, be her life partner. So, I probably want shit in the past, but whoever got me now, you know what I'm saying? Now, I might not be the easiest person to get along with.
But you ain't cheating.
But I ain't cheating. Because black men don't cheat.
Okay, well, you so, okay, I'm on the bandwagon now.
Yeah.
You done put me on, I'm on the black man don't cheat bandwagon.
There we go.
I'm not going to wear no t-shirt or blast that song, but from your point of view of it, I have to agree. So, okay, black men don't cheat.
And if we don't have the black women on board to help change the narrative,
I agree.
It ain't going to be changed. So, it's like the civil rights movement.
I agree.
You got to start somewhere. And it don't want like, oh, because there were some good white people.
Right.
I think.
Yes.
There was some white people on the
It was some white people that
on
had
the front line,
freaked that.
you know,
Yes.
that pushed all the civil rights bills through.
Well, you had white people helping
Right.
slaves.
But the majority of them motherfuckers wasn't shit.
Yeah, true.
But we needed those white people to be on board to change the narrative. So we
Yes.
need our black queens to be on
Right.
board to change the narrative. The black men don't cheat.
I think too many women allow men to cheat.
Yeah, y'all gotta
Like
stop that
not
shit.
like me. It was a time in my life I would, if I met somebody and he said he had a girlfriend or he had say he had a wife or something like that. I didn't care. You know what I'm saying? It didn't matter because in my mind I wasn't trying to marry him and I definitely wasn't looking for no relationship. And then even subconsciously, when I started saying, oh, I want to be with somebody, I would always meet unavailable men because I think subconsciously I wasn't even ready to settle down and be with in a relationship. I just didn't really know that. So I attracted unavailable men. And for a long time, I ain't gonna say like every man I met, you know, he had somebody, but I have cheated with men who had wives before. I have cheated with men who had girlfriends before. And I did not care until I did care. And the reason being was I didn't know my self-worth back then. Didn't even think about my own self-worth back then. So knowing what I know now, fast forward to me now, you tell me you got somebody, I'm straight. You know, I don't care how good you look. You know, I don't care how attractive you are and how attracted to you that I am. I'm straight. And that's just because I know that it goes absolutely nowhere. One. Two, because whoever you with, that's one of my sisters whose toes I'm stepping on. And it's not worth it. You know what I'm saying? I know the pain of it, and it's not worth causing the pain. Whether she ever found out or not is beyond me. But I know what I'm doing. And I just want to be able to sleep with myself at night. I want to be able to look at myself in the mirror at night, not feel like shit. You know what I'm saying? I don't want to wake up in the middle of the night, feel like shit because of that. I may wake up and feel like shit because of other stuff, but it won't be because of that. And that's just a conscious decision that I made. And literally one day I made that decision. Like, I ain't fucking around with nobody else that got somebody else. Because you meet people, you meet these men, they lie to you, they tell you don't have nobody. Sometimes they may not have a wife, but they'll have someone somewhere thinking that he's their guy because they in this off and on relationship that he continues to keep her at bay. And so she behaves as if that's her man. He don't tell you that. You get all into him. Next thing you know, you in the love triangle. And you like, how is that? And what happens is you find out, oh, he do got somebody somewhere, somehow. But now you feel like I want him and he belongs to me. So you keep on at him. When really you stepping on somebody's toes. Yeah, he wasn't honest with you, but for the moment that you know, then you're stepping on someone's toes. And what happens is we allow these men to lie to us. We know they lying. We just focus on what we want to believe and what sound good. You know what I'm saying? And what feel good. And we just keep at it. And we don't think about what else is involved. What means somebody else is involved. We don't think about messing up somebody else's household. We don't think about, because we don't think we are. We think that's him doing that, because that's his business. But really, we are aiding and abetting his ways. And we aiding and abetting a no good nigga. You know what I'm saying? And I do believe that as women, we have a duty to each other to support one another. That's something that I've worked with myself on. It's a decision that I made that I want to do. And since I made that decision, I fall by wayside. You know what I'm saying? I failed tests. You know what I'm saying? But I get right back on track. I immediately be like, okay, remember what you said. Get on back on track. And so now I'm to the point where you got somebody, if you're honest enough to tell me that you have somebody, then I'm good. You know what I'm saying? I'm all right. We may have had a good time. So now it's like, we had a good time, and I see you the next time. We can have a good time up in here. But I'm not taking your situation home with me. Because there's no sense in us continuing on. No sense in me giving you my phone number, and we're going to talk about what? Because I know you got a wife. I know you got a girl. So we're going to talk about what? Because eventually...
Sexing.
It may not start out with that, but it's going to end up with that. Because eventually that's what it's going to lead to. Because that's how we met. Ain't nobody meet no new buddies out here. Ain't nobody meet no new best friends.
Yeah,
That's true.
I agree with that, and I think that if I do meet somebody new friend,
Right.
it got to be a group thing.
Yes.
Got to be a group thing.
Yes.
And that was my thing. I used to think that because I told them other women the truth,
Right.
that I was justified in some way. You know I got a wife. You know it ain't nothing but this.
Right.
Or you know I got a girl, so this is what it is.
Right.
So that's still wrong. So, you know, we
I
change
think, yeah.
the narrative.
Everybody has to be
black men
accountable
don't
for,
cheat.
for themselves.
And I think that, and I know it's like, you know, Lil Duval is a comedian. They do it in a comedic way, and
Right.
but I like the whole thing is there because we have to get our community back on track. It's gonna start with like one family at a time,
Right.
right? And we need for these young black dudes to have positive role models
Right.
and examples the show has done,
Mm-hmm.
I
right?
agree.
So black men don't cheat. Y'all rolling with the whole thing.
Yeah, I'm gonna jump on the band. I'll get on the back of the bandwagon and we'll see how it goes. Then I'll itch my way on, you know. But
It's a work in progress.
it's a working. I think it's definitely a work.
It ain't gonna be overnight.
I don't
but-
think it's. I never thought it was a bad thing. I just always took it as a joke. You know what I'm saying? But
I did too.
you know, I think it's a good thing.
Yeah, it's a good
Okay,
thing.
Corey, now you won us over with that.
All right, good. So we got that. Now I want to switch to something else because also, right? Last week was Father's Day,
Right.
and I just want to know why there's such a big emphasis on Mother's Day, and like even with the commercials, Mother's Day they got all the good commercials and the diamonds and the trips and vacation and you see a Father's Day commercial, you buy a nigga a screwdriver. They go do some goddamn work.
I agree with that though, because my dad, he not a fixer-upper dad. Like, I'm not about to buy him no
Me either.
you know, nothing like that.
I'm paying a motherfucker to come do some
And,
shit.
Yeah, like he not cutting the grass. He not that type. So it can be hard. But I don't know.
So this
I
year,
feel like mothers are nurtured by
yeah,
nature.
but goddamn it, fathers need that same attention and love too. And I gotta say, this year, like you know, okay, I don't even really expect things from Father's Day. You know, my kids call me, "Happy Father's Day, Dad. I love you." And for all the way up until this year, that was cool.
Right.
I appreciate that, just that little recognition. But no, I ain't with that shit no more.
Okay, well let me ask you this. Why wasn't it cool before this year? Why was a phone call okay? Because you was a father last year, the year before. So why didn't you expect anything?
Probably because,
the commercial's been the same.
right, probably because that's been, and it goes back to the whole, I think, and I may be wrong, but in my mind, it goes back to the whole thing that I was saying, whereas you keep that family divided, right?
Okay.
You know, even, I can remember like, when my kids was kids, younger, oh Dad, I gotta get my mama stuff for Mother's Day, I need some money or whatever.
Right.
Get the money. Or I tell you what, I even go back further. When I was a kid, in school we made Mother's Day cards. You bring your little $2, you can buy a little gift for your mama and shit. When Father's Day came around, school was still in session. Because it's in the beginning of June. We weren't making no Father's Day cards. We ain't had no little store to buy no little flowers or the little $2 gift for your daddy and shit. Why is that?
I don't know, but I think Mother's Day is hyped up by everybody. So it's hyped up by mothers themselves. It's hyped up by the kids, by people that have mothers. It's hyped up by mothers and then their mothers. I mean, Father's Day,
Why?
even
why
fathers
aren't-
don't hype up Father's Day.
Because we've been programmed to accept this bullshit. We've been programmed to accept, all right, you go get a
Nowadays,
call
though-
or a text and say Happy Father's Day and that's gonna be it. And your wife or your mama might cook you a dinner and
Right.
you good with that.
But what do you all want?
Yeah, like what do you? Well, no, I
That
can't
mothers,
say.
what do you all not get that mothers get? I mean,
Don't get
outside of
shit.
commercial. No, you get something because I seen some commercials.
We get a
for Father's Day.
goddamn, what?
remember.
A goddamn Sears commercial. I don't need no more flannel shirts.
It's always something.
Then what do y'all?
I want you to go all out
Like how? Like do what?
like we do for Mother's Day.
Like what?
And this year, and I say that because this year, motherfuckers went all out, right?
Well, okay, what they do?
So this year, and my kids, and I ain't down on them or whatever because it's their goddamn mama's fault.
Oh no, Lord.
No. I think that if mothers put more emphasis on how important Father's Day is,
Right.
it'll carry on farther.
But your kids are grown now.
Yeah, but it's learned behavior though.
But we talking about moving.
Tell them.
But we are.
I did this year.
Right. But we're talking about moving forward. So you talking about what the emphasis that mother didn't put on them, and she can't go back and put that on them now because now they are adults.
Okay, my kids are adults, but there's a lot of people out there that
Well,
got
I
little
agree.
kids that's not
Right.
adults, especially. They
Right.
should start
Right. I agree.
expressing how important it is, and
Right.
and just make your fathers feel just as important
Right.
as the mothers,
Right.
right?
Well.
I don't give a fuck if it's a homemade card. Give me a card too.
Well.
Let me put my foot up, and y'all. And this year, you know, my sister and my cousin and even my girl, you know, she made it a point to make sure she called Happy Father's Day. We ain't got no kids together, you know what I'm
Exactly,
saying?
right.
But my sisters, my cousins, and my sister-in-law, they took the fellas out to eat.
Okay.
We got gifts. They spoiled us, right? And then the following day, same thing. We was able to just sit down, kick back, relax, have food.
Right.
The women wait on us. It's just as simple as that.
I have
We
all.
want that shit too.
Me myself, the men that I knew, like in my life over the years, I mean that's kind of stuff that was already done. So I never thought that fathers was being shorted because my own father, he would get a phone call from me. But now you gotta also talk about the type of father. Just cause you know what I'm saying. I love my dad. He can get anything from me. You know what I'm saying. But growing up, you know, he wasn't really around to be celebrated on Father's Day. That's all I'm saying. So I grew into that, and it is learned behavior, but it was a habit. So even as an adult, I made a conscious effort I'm gonna call my father on Father's Day. It don't matter what kind of father he was when I wasn't growing up, this, that, and that. I'm gonna call my father on Father's Day. But I do not go all out for my father like I do for my mother. One, I know my mama, she ain't bad. I know what she expect, but my mother raised me without my father. My mother, when I needed from my father and I couldn't get, she made up for that. So I feel like she should be praised. I praise her all year round, but it's her day. Then we do things. I buy her gifts. We all go out to eat. It's Mother's Day, but I'm a mother. She a mother. My sister is a mother. We celebrate that day amongst ourselves. Our kids years ago, my kids wouldn't go because that's my day. But now my kids are included. It is not like, oh, we're taking you, mom. You know, sometimes I still have to pay for their dinner. You know what I'm saying? But it's my day, and so I'm celebrating it with them. My father, he did a happy Father's Day.
Call or a text.
But this year he got dinner and everything, you know. But my father is sick this year, so he can't get out the house. If he could, I would have taken him out. I would have done things with him, but he can't get out the house. So I did what I could for him, being his state, and that was he needs to eat dinner. I'm gonna make sure that he eat dinner. He got time. You know, my kids wouldn't spend time with him. So to him, that was a big thing. Like I wanted to take him a big dinner, and then he texted me like, I just want pizza. Bet. I even throw in the salad.
But that's what I'm saying. Most of the times, the fathers just want the simple shit.
I agree.
And I get it. I guess that, you know, in our generation, like I'm a 70s baby, and I can say that daddies in the 70s wasn't shit.
Yeah.
I don't know why. Right? And I've been thinking about
this. They was sitting up there trying that crack.
This might be a controversial statement, right? Right? Daddies wasn't shit like in the 70s. Right? But I think that I guess again it's learned behavior. If you ain't had your daddy in your house, you see your daddy one shit, then maybe you wasn't a good father.
Right.
I don't know. But I see that people like my closest friends, that didn't have a father, we tried extra hard to be
A good father.
good fathers,
Right.
right? But let me say this: do you think that women have to take some of the blame for fathers not being shit?
No, I don't think they have to take none of the blame.
Why not?
I say yes and no, just because of where I work at. And I see it all the time where mothers nitpick about everything. When some fathers really do just want to have their kids by all costs. And mothers will sit there and nitpick, like, oh, no, he don't even have a bed in his house for my kids. He don't even-
Goddamn, I ain't have no
He
bed.
don't
I
even have a
look, you see my
car.
couch. So
Yeah,
what?
like he don't even have a car to take him to XYZ. Like now we got Lyft, we got Uber,
Right.
it's taxi, catch a ride with a friend. Like so, I see some complaints and see some truth to it. How mothers.
I was thinking about this recently, right? And my father wasn't in my life, and for a long time, like I just felt like after being so long without a dad, you just feel like you don't need one, right?
Right.
But that's definitely not true.
Right.
Right now, we had good fathers in our life, and maybe some of us won't be as fucked up as we are.
Right.
But I think that women have to take some accountability, right?
Right.
Because this is the person you chose to lay down with, sleep with, have sex with, have unprotected sex, and let it pregnant you, right? So you have to hold that person accountable. And women are so quick to say, we don't need him. Well, maybe you don't need him. But
Right.
your kid do.
Right.
Your kid absolutely need a father, right? But women so quick to be like, oh, we don't need him, fuck him, he ain't doing shit, blah, blah, blah. And that's not true. And I think that women should hold men accountable.
I agree.
My mother never, I think her thing was, if he don't want to be there, then fuck it, he don't want to be there.
Right.
That's bullshit. You got to hold the man accountable. And I think that sometimes the easiest thing, because you don't know how to be a father, you don't know the right thing to
The
do,
easy thing to do is walk
the
away.
easiest thing to do to walk away. And sometimes you need somebody to hold your feet to the flame.
Right.
And like I paid child support for 21 years, right? And thank God I'm done with that shit. But I've never been against child support. I am against the systems. I don't think it's a fair
Right.
system.
Right.
And that's another discussion for another show. But I think that if women held the men accountable, no, you're going to come get your kid. You're going to be in this kid life. You're going to pay money for this kid, right? So I think that women have to take some accountability in regards to that man being in child life.
I think that I agree with what you're saying. You do, but I think it's only so much women can do. If a man don't want to be shit, he won't be shit. I think that you cannot make a man do anything that he does not want to do. And I think that sometimes it can come to bite you in your ass when you try to do that in the long run.
Like how?
So I'm not saying don't do it, but I'm saying it on a case-by-case basis, depending on the man that you're dealing with. Some men, yeah, you had a baby with him. Now this baby is here, and it's like you gonna come get him. You gonna do this. You gonna do that. You know, my grandmother told me one time, some people don't need to know who their daddy is. Like some women, you don't need to be making this man be in your child life, because just like your child is looking and watching everything you do, and looking and watching everything he do, and some people is into some shit that you may not even want your kid to be learning and being around, and he like, okay, I will get him. Okay, I'll get him. And the next thing you know, you done bred the next drug dealer. You done bred the next murderer, killer, right? You know what I'm saying? So I think that, yes, women lay down, and a lot of blame is put on women when it comes to having kids. It's like, well, you had that baby, as if they made, okay, I made this baby by myself, so I should have aborted this baby because of who I ended up getting pregnant by. Your daddy ain't shit, so I'm not going to have your ass. Or some women have the baby with child support in mind, like, okay, this is a check, but we got to think about as a whole. I just don't think the most percentage of women are out here choosing to have babies by ain't shit niggas. I think that women are having kids by the men that they present themselves to be at the time that they have those kids. And yeah, they may know they have ancient qualities, or they may see this, but what are they supposed to do? They pregnant now, so are they supposed to not have this baby? So now you had this baby, so now it's like you need to come get your baby. This your baby too. This, that, another. And then you really find out who you had that baby by. And then the first thing is said, well, you had that baby. And it's always mama's babies, daddy's babies. I've heard that my whole life in regards to babies.
I think that's a bullshit statement.
I think it's a bullshit. I know it's a bullshit statement.
And I think that, again, I'm not against child support. And the system is, it's not a fair system. But I think that, and I think some women abuse the system.
Yes.
Right? But I think the system is put in place for you to have a tool to make these people accountable,
yes,
right?
I agree.
And you absolutely can't make nobody do anything, but I think you can put that pressure on them.
Yeah, I agree.
You know what I'm saying?
I agree.
I think you can put that pressure on them.
I don't think any person, man, woman, boy, girl, because you had some women have these babies, leave them with their mamas, leave them with the daddies, or give them away, whatever. I think that you have a baby, then it's your responsibility. And pressure should be put on the parents. Now, I agree with that. I don't agree with like letting anybody 100% completely off the hook. And I might be sounding a little hypocritical because my daughter has a baby by someone who hasn't stood up, and we haven't put any pressure on him. But that's as of yet.
Yeah, but you
that's
should,
as of
though,
yet.
right?
But he's a child.
And that's what I'm saying.
They're 16 years old.
Sometimes
So,
you have to be forced to grow up, right?
Right.
And I don't blame my mother for anything, but I do think that she had the.
She should have encouraged.
She should have just been. She shouldn't have been okay with.
Right.
I ain't doing shit.
I ain't doing right.
And you can't.
Yeah.
And you
I
can't.
agree.
You can't accept the fact that I'm a drug addict. Because I know career drug addicts, and it ain't even really about the money sometimes. It's about the time spent.
Yeah.
Right?
Well, my father, you can't tell my father he wasn't a good father. He said out of his mouth, I was a good father. And I'm thinking to myself, but he feels that way because he feel like he only had two of us, but he feel like I kept in touch with my girls. Like you knew where I was, you knew how to get in touch with me, whether it be through somebody or I checked on y'all. Now, he's not thinking in regards to I never ever financially supported your mother with you. He's not thinking that. He said out of his mouth, yeah, I might not brought nothing, but and to me, his daughter he said too, right?
Oh shit.
So, but I understand his thinking more the more I talk to him in his adult life.
Yeah.
And his thinking behind it is, I didn't just walk away from my responsibility. There was times in y'all life where I was there. I did spend time with y'all. My father got on drugs at a very young age in my life. Stayed on drugs until I was an adult. But been off drugs for over 20 years. But he wasn't there during those times I needed him. And even if he was there, I wasn't aware that he was there because I spent so long with him not being there. So yeah, I had access to them, meaning I could pull up on him because I know where he would be at if he didn't have a phone. And when he did, I could call him, and he would answer. And then when he would reach out to me, it's like, hey, how you doing? I love you. I got that. I got hugs. I got love from him. But he was not there in the sense of when you need a parent. He wasn't there, but he don't think of it like that. He think of it as the little that he was able to do, the time that he did spend. If I saw you, I gave you $1. If I got a couple dollars for you, to him, that was him being a good dad. And he's comparing himself to fathers who have kids and they don't have nothing to do with their kids at all. Don't even acknowledge. So compared to them, I was a good dad. Now, I made a conscious decision to forgive my father because I did realize I had resentments, not knowing that I had resentments. But once I realized I had resentments from him, me and him was at odds. And I had to look inside myself like, this what's going on. I resent him from not being here. And now that I'm an adult and that I'm trying to have a relationship with him and he coming at me, I got a kid, I'm like, nigga, what? How you gonna say anything to me about anything? And what it was we didn't know each other. We knew each other in passing by. We didn't spend a lot of time around each other. And I spent a lot of time saying we got a good relationship. We didn't have no good relationship. We didn't have a relationship. So once I realized these things, and that went for after not talking to my father for 2 years. Because I'm like, you talking to me like stupid. So you can't talk to me no more. You know, you don't get no rights like that. I would never do that to my mother. She would talk to me stupid. I get mad, but it ain't no, you ain't talking to me no more. My daddy, I'm like, you don't get no right to talk to me like that. And I'm like, nigga. You know, so I stopped talking to him 2 years. But once I realized was, oh, I have resentments towards him. Now, he may not realize what's going on with him and me, but I realized what's going on with me and him. And I made a conscious decision that no matter what, I want my daddy in my life. No matter how he is, I dug my daddy. Even though he wasn't no shit that's growing up, I still dug him. So I want him in my life. I forgave him. We ain't never talked about the falling out. And from then on, I forged a relationship with him. And my way was getting to know him. Getting to know that, oh, this is how he is. Don't take offense to it. It's how he is with everybody. So when he's barking at me, he's just barking because he's a barker. You know, he's a fusser. It's how he talk. Don't take offense to it. So once I did that, then he forced a relationship with me. He started getting to know me. So now we know each other. So now it ain't nothing you can't go to my daddy and say about me, and he won't know whether it's true or not, and vice versa.
See, but what you're saying is, right, as a daughter, I think that's what the mother should have done.
Well, I was able to do that because of what my mother instilled in me. Every Father's Day, my mama say, call your daddy. It doesn't matter if I didn't talk to my daddy all year.
Well, really? Call him on Father's Day. We need to get that call.
I'm saying, but he know you. But we talking about somebody on drugs out in the street you can't get in touch with. But it's Father's Day. Did you call your daddy? It was never your daddy ain't shit. Mama. Throughout the year, it was you talk to your father, and I think somebody said, "How I talk to him? He didn't call me." But my mother never was like, "Did your father call you?" It was like you talk to your father. I'm realizing this as I'm growing up. My mother never badmouthed my daddy. Right. While I was growing up. She didn't talk about him like a dog, nah. But that's because I'm an adult. You know what I'm saying? And you know, it's in a joking way. But she never like badmouthed my father. And also she did what your mother did. She let him kind of off the hook. Oh, she sent him to child support. Nigga never had a job. And I heard the story over and over how they went to child support. They ordered him. Now imagine, I'm born in the 70s too. They ordered him to pay $8 a week. And he told my mama, you'll never see a damn of it. I ain't paying it, but
$8 a week
back then.
Yeah, back then. So, but here's the thing, though, right? And I did that, and I think that, like I said, you can only make a person do so much, or you can't make a person do anything at all.
Right.
But I do think that women let men off the hook too much.
Well, I agree.
I think they let them off the hook too much.
I agree.
And if you, regardless of what the situation is, if you brought a life into this world with whoever you brought life to it, then you need to make sure that mother and our father is accountable.
Right.
Right? Like me, and maybe because it was like, my mother got married when I was 12 years old, right? To my stepdad. But at that time, I already made up in my mind, like, I'm good. I don't need a dad.
I don't need a father. Right.
I don't need a dad. I'm good. At 12, I can tell you some shit that I was doing at 12 to blow your mind.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? Like, but I think that it's going to start, first of all, we need it, and I picked these two topics because it's bring it together.
Right.
Black men got to stop cheating, and they got to be in a household, and they got to be a father to their kid. Even if you're not even with the woman, you got to be a father to the kid. Like even with my own son, we don't see eye to eye. He's not doing what I think he should do in life or whatever, but I know that eventually the things that I instilled in him, it'll come back around. And hopefully, because I was an influence in his life when I was there, he's going to be an even better dad than I was. And that's how I look at it with my own kids. I didn't know how to be a father.
Right.
First of all, I was way too young to have kids. I had no idea what it meant to be in a relationship. I didn't know what love was. So, but I made a conscious effort, whatever, like, you know, my kids would never think of me what I thought of my father. And it wasn't even all bad. It was just like, I can do with or without.
Right.
And mainly without.
Right.
Right? So as fathers, we want the good fathers there and shit, but we got to step up and be more of a father. And I think that women have to just take some of the accountability. You just have to.
See, my situation was a little different, which I didn't really know until I guess a couple years ago. So my mom had me in the first couple years of my life, I didn't really know my dad until about 3-4 years old. Are my earliest memories, just because my mom was like, we went together. I didn't really tell nobody I was pregnant. He kind of figured, but he didn't really. I don't know. They didn't have that communication because they was young, and then they ran into each other. And my mom was like, "Well, I think it's not fair for for him to at least not know that he has a child out here." And so, we got together. My mom always made sure, that I called him on Father's Day. Once it was established, like, yeah, this is your daughter, he stepped up, and I remember going over to his house like every weekend, every break I got out of school, vacations, all that. But I'm still closer to my mom than my dad. I don't know if it's because of just not being with him from day one or not, but
yeah, and that's not what I'm saying either. Like you're gonna have like people that you're closer to. Like obviously, I'm closer to my mother because my dad was never there.
Right.
And for a long, like I guess, like I said earlier, like I had made up in my mind that I didn't need a dad any matter of, but that's not true. I did need a father, and I felt like I kind of just like pushed to the wayside and didn't really think about it until I graduated high school.
Right.
And I was going to the military. And I remember I went over to my grandmother's house, Miss Evans, my father's mother, and, showing off my diploma and all this shit. Now, I'm about to go to the Navy, and I'll never, ever forget that my dad said, I'm going to miss you.
Wow.
And that's when it hit me, like, the fuck? How you gonna miss me? Like, nigga, we've been in the same city for 18 years. Literally, like, for a time being, I lived directly across the street from my father's sister, my auntie. You go over there to visit your sister, but one come across the street to visit your son. You know what I'm saying? So, I held a grudge for a little while, up until I was about 23. I just wrote my dad a letter. Like, whatever you was going through, the drugs and whatever, like,
right.
I don't know what it is to be addicted to drugs.
Right.
I've never been addicted to drugs, but I do know what it is to be young, unexperienced, don't know how to be a father, at odds with your baby mother,
right.
and all this other. I know all of that shit, but I still know that there was nothing. Even when it was times that my kid's mother kept me away from him because she was being vindictive and bitter or whatever, like, there was always a fight.
Right.
Always a fight. Like, you will not keep my kids from me.
Right.
Ever. Even my youngest daughter, I didn't even know my youngest daughter until she was like, I didn't even know about her, period, until she was like 8 years old. Just being reckless and young and foolish, right? But, and that's been a mess, really. Like, trying to get to know a person that you didn't know.
Yes.
And then, not only that, she's in a different state from me.
Right.
It's been into this, and it's been times, it's been laps where it's like, you know what? I don't even want to deal with that. And that's my bad. That was my fault because whatever would happen, it wasn't her issue. She didn't have anything to do with that. So, I always try to step up and I was paying child support for her too, and I wasn't even seeing her. I didn't even know. At one point, I didn't even know where she was, right? And it was just like, you know what? As a real man, as a father, I'm going to find my kid.
Right.
I'm going to build a relationship. And to be honest, I'm probably closer with her than my kids that I've been around all their life. Because I just refuse not to be there.
Right, and you can't be there physically because y'all live separate.
Yeah.
So I do it all. So now, you saying that strikes a chord with me. Like, everything that you just said about that you are made a decision that I'm going to be in that life. Because like my kid's father, we divorced. We separated my kids like 3 and 5. He immediately got a truck driving job that took him from state to state and state to state. And for for most of their younger years of their life, that was his excuse of not really like being in their life. So I always felt like a single mother. Even though off and on, he paid his child support when he felt like paying his child support. I ain't gonna say he never paid child support. He did pay it. He paid it when he felt like paying it.
I don't understand. I don't know how niggas pay when they feel like paying.
Well,
because I ain't have a choice.
Well, I'm gonna tell you how. So he didn't get a paycheck, so they couldn't take it out his paycheck. So So he worked. He don't get. It's just he has it with his own truck company. So he has to physically send the money in to them. Now he work up a arrearage and send it in to them. And if he didn't, then they would send him letters. But he know how long to go before they would like suspend his license, or mess with him or anything. Then he'll make some form of payment. And child support will accept some form of payment, if not all payment, before they come after you. And especially if you're on a state to state, and unless you have a mother that's down there constantly and calling constantly, and I just wasn't doing that either. To make sure like, oh, he didn't pay. What's this? Send him this, send him that. I just took the money when I got the money, and I made up for what I had to make up for. Now, that might have been me letting them off the hook, but I ain't got time to take off work, keep going down to the friend of the court to come after him. I just didn't have time to do that. But what I'm saying is, I always felt like he could have been a better parent. And he feels like he was, but he didn't help me raise them. He didn't help me parent them. Yeah, you call on the phone and talk to him how what you getting on your port card. I'm gonna get you when I see you. You ain't gonna see him to the next.
When I see you.
You're not gonna see him. You're not gonna see them to the next report card. Well, he'll call what y'all do today. Same thing every day. How was your day? What you do in school? Okay. You get in trouble? I'm gonna get you when I see you. I mean, he didn't help me raise him, and I feel like he could have made a choice that no matter what, I'm going to be a part of my kid's life. It's no way you don't never know the teacher's name. No teacher, no classroom. You'll never know what time you can go to the school. You ain't went to the school. You never know. You may not be able to go to parent-teacher conference, but you should know, okay, they got their report card. It's nothing that you knew at that time. That's all that's going on in their life. Now they cheering. Now they playing sports. Now they this. You can't make it to now. One game, I think that, and he will use the excuse as distance. Like, so it's the same as you live out of town and they live out of town if you're on the road. But you make, like you said, you made an effort to, I'm going to be a part of her life, how much I can be a part of her life. Now, fast forward to today, they're close with their dad. Whatever woman he got, that's where he going to be living at. So he got a woman here, so now he's dead here. You know what I'm saying? So now they see him.
My nigga.
Yeah. So, now
he's a black man that don't cheat.
He's a black man that cheat. That's another topic, okay? But him is a whole other topic. That's a black man that don't cheat, that do cheat, that is gonna keep on cheating. But anyway.
No, that's what we're trying to change.
He has not got.
We're gonna get them on board.
Well, I hope you do. For my kids' sake, because I want them to have a better example if you do get on board. But what I'm saying is, I feel like I feel like I'm a single mother. I always identify as a single mother because when I need backup and help, my mother helps me. When I need decisions to make that I should make with their fathers, she helped me. And what happened was he decided that he didn't want to raise them with me. Verbally out his mouth, he said, you raise them how you want to raise them, and I raise them how I want to raise them when they with me. Well, for one, they ain't never with you. That's that. But what he meant is when they come visit me, then I do my thing at my house. You do your thing at your house. He didn't want to co-parent me, and that's because he didn't know how to disagree and just have it at that. He thought everything was an argument because we bumped heads all the time. And that's because we didn't see eye to eye. And so he chose to opt out of co-parenting. And it was like, we don't get along, so I ain't gonna co-parent. Me, I feel like I don't like him, but those are his kids. So when it came time for things to make decisions, I'm gonna call him. I would rather smoke crack than pick the phone up and talk to him. But this is who I chose to be their father. So I picked the phone up and called and talked to him. You know what I'm saying? Until he hang the phone up in my face. Some crazy stuff like that. So fast forward to now, I feel like my kids missed out. And I feel like...
Because we do. We do miss out.
I always blame myself a little bit. I say, I dropped the ball somewhere with them. I didn't instill something in them. I feel like they missed out on something that they didn't have to miss out on. If we could have co-parented, even if we couldn't have made it, we could have came together and found a way to parent them together. They missed out on something that my son has because I did co-parent with his father. And he has issues with his father. But one thing I can say with his dad is we always put up a united front in raising him. Now, I found out after my son was an adult, he was double crossing me behind my back. But in the early years, your son don't know a double cross. You know what I'm saying? So he did benefit from that growing up. Now when he got older, it was kind of a breakdown. But I do feel like I probably did let my ex-husband off the hook by him saying, okay, you do what you do and I do what I do. Maybe because I didn't know how to make him be held, hold him accountable. And maybe what the same thing in me that did that is was in me not making my daughter, who's 16 only, so I have to be her advocate, is not making her child's father be accountable. Because right now he's not being held accountable. So what you're saying kind of like struck a chord to me, and because I was torn with that. And it's like, this is a new day. Nowadays, these niggas don't want these babies. They getting into accidents, talking about the baby got kidnapped. You never see the baby again. Or these babies is coming up abused. Or something is happening to the mama. All because they don't want the responsibility of a child. And I'm like, I just don't want my grandbaby to have no bad experience because of a boy that feel like his life is ruined because he made a decision not to use a condom. And so if he's like, he don't want to own up to it, that ain't my baby, I just feel like something's going to happen and he's going to have to be held accountable. But it's not going to be me at his head. Because when you come at somebody like that, they respond like that. And I'm like, no, these niggas are stupid these nowadays. And I don't want to have to kill somebody over doing something to my grandbaby. But in doing that, maybe I'm doing what you're saying. I'm enabling him. And I'm keeping him from standing up and being a man. His mama can't do it because mama don't know about the baby. And I can't tell his mama because I don't know who his mama is. So, baby, I do know who he is. So maybe I have to be the one to give him that push to step up. I don't know.
Yeah. I think that it's not easy, and it's we kind of got ourselves in a messed up situation.
Right.
So I mean, it's just people like myself and like my friends and like other people that are good fathers. That's what we're doing. We're changing the narrative. Right. And we're going to be responsible. We're going to be accountable. And I think that it just takes like people that's been through it to tell the young fellas, first of all, let's try to get them not to have babies so early.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? But if you do, it's not the end of the world.
Right.
Like, yeah, you're gonna have to sacrifice some stuff. You're not gonna have to do a lot of things, right? But the reward to see your kids doing better than what you're doing will be worth it.
Right.
So I think in closing, I think that I'm with the narrative that black men don't cheat. And we're gonna start setting examples, and we're gonna be faithful, we're gonna be loyal, and we're gonna be good fathers. Right. So on Father's Day,
it'd be a big deal now.
Yeah, this Father's Day was a big deal.
Yeah, it'd be a big deal.
I mean, I went to a restaurant.
I got a question.
Yeah.
Did you call your dad on Father's Day?
I text my dad on Father's Day.
Okay.
And I'm a work in progress.
Right.
I'm a work in progress. And here's the thing with my dad, right? I'm no longer angry. I don't hold like him. I do hold him responsible. And I would tell him today that you should have been there. There's nothing you can tell me that, because it wasn't financially. Like, even if you couldn't do it financially, you could have spent time.
Right.
Right? So I'll never forgive him for that. I forget it, but I won't forgive him. I don't have any issues with my dad. The thing is with me and my dad now, I'm 42, right? And you waited till like I was 35 to like put forth the real effort.
Right.
Right? So it may take 10 years. It may take another 20 years. I don't know. What I'm saying by that is like, I don't have a problem with him at all. It's just that you just not in that inner circle.
Right.
Right? So I think about you sometimes, and unfortunately, like, here's another thing that get me, right? He'll call me, and sometimes, like, he'll call me, like, and I don't know what his work schedule is or whatever, but recently he called me, and I was at work, and I get busy.
Right.
And unfortunately, it don't register to call him back,
Right.
right? So then he'll call my mother and be like, "Oh, is he mad at me or something?"
Right.
Like, no, I'm not really mad at you, and don't take it personally.
just not on
You
my radar,
not-
really.
Yeah. Right. So, but I do like, I'm working towards
Well,
that.
like you
right?
said, you're a work
I'm working progress. I'm working towards that. And I feel like, if anything was to happen to him, at one point, I didn't give a shit. Like, oh well. But I do feel like now, if anything was to happen to him, or if
You
he
feel
needs
something.
me anything, like I'll be there for him. And if I feel, something, if something happened to him, I just don't feel like, unfortunately, this day and time, he's not like
Right.
top of my priority list for
Right.
people to call back.
Right.
But we working towards it. So, and I do plan on, my sister, my half sister, she's like, we should take a trip and go down to see him. I'm all for that. Last time I was in Atlanta, I didn't even call him because I knew I wasn't going to see him.
Right.
But the time before that, I did make an effort when I was in Atlanta. I went there and I saw him, and it's just awkward. It's like,
You all don't know each other.
yeah, that's what it's saying. It's
You know,
like,
you don't know each other.
and it's not like he's in the same city with me now. Like, he's been in Atlanta for at least 20 years, I think.
Right.
So it's like, again, it's like with my daughter, it's like that distance, and it's just like, he'll call and leave it at that.
Right.
With me, with my daughter, I called and I followed up,
I follow up.
and I
right.
went to go visit,
Right.
and he'll be in town. I wouldn't even know he in town until after he left. You know what I'm saying?
Well, at this point, it's got to be an effort on both parts.
I agree.
And
So,
that's what happened with my dad. Eventually, it was an effort on both parts. Even if he don't know, even if he didn't say it, but I saw it, that it's an effort on both parts.
and I do recognize his effort, and I do have to put forth more of the effort myself,
Right.
right? So, I'm working on it.
Well, that's good.
I love my dad, and hopefully before it's too late,
You will
we'll
be
be closer.
Closer, yeah.
Yeah.
Okay, so at the end of the day, black men not gonna cheat no more,
Alright.
and they gonna
Right.
and then as a result, these women is gonna celebrate these men more on Father's Day.
Right. And we're gonna have a stronger community. We're gonna have stronger family bonds. We're gonna have better examples of what men and fathers should be. We have better role models, which eventually lead to better children, better society, better community. Y'all
All
feeling
right,
that
I'm with
shit?
that. I'm feeling that.
Alright,
Sign me
cool.
up.
Alright, so on that note, black men don't cheat. Ladies, on Father's Day, make sure your kids call their daddies, tell them how much they love them. Go get a $3 card, take them out to dinner. Oh, I had a good Father's Day this year. I mean, I got a shirt and everything. You know what I'm saying? So that's what it is. Next time, just make sure your kids call your dads, and and throughout the year, call your kid's father and tell him like you should call your kid. No beef today. No money today.
Right.
Just call your kid. Tell him you love him. Come and spend time with him a little bit. Spend an hour. It matters. Right?
Yeah.
Alright, and on that note, we out this. Yeah. Black men don't cheat. Peace.